we finally came to the end of our first week together on Heroes War. Oh, besides from the people who have had the game, access to the beta and access to all that, that's not really fair. That doesn't count. I'm talking about all of us that just started on release day, and we have officially reached the 1 week mark in progression. So let's see how far I've gotten. Tell me how far you guys have gotten. And we'll do a little bit of an experience share. Some things that I thought in the beginning, my opinion has changed a little bit, and some things that I didn't know anything about, I'm starting to gain a little bit of an understanding. So first thing that I want to talk about, because it has just refreshed, is the arena. In other games like Summoner's War and like Skylanders, other Comtois games, whenever you get arena tokens for winning a match, these 17 tokens I have up here, it is pretty much a requirement to put them in a specific building that will increase the stats of your units. That is not in this game yet. Since it is not in this game, the only thing we're able to spend our arena tokens on are the arena token shop and the defense formation defender. Empowering that up is actually a pretty big deal. If you've ever fought a weak one, it's like, okay, why is it even there? If you've ever fought a strong one, you're like, holy shit, this thing is going to end my entire team. So definitely worth investing in that, which I did not think too much about in the beginning. But if you want to maintain your rank, I noticed if you see my defensive win rate right now, I'm looking at 75%, which isn't too bad. I've had some of the strongest members in the game that are in my guild tell me they've had a little bit of trouble with my defense, and I can't help but think that maybe the turret has something to do with it, as well as my team composition. For everybody that followed my beginning videos, I hope it helped you to pick a team in the beginning before you started just dropping gems on random units like I did. I hope you were able to form a team and actually better choreograph how you're going to be playing the game in the future with those units. Let's take a look at this arena shop, because this is like something I mentioned at first, that I thought some things might not be worth it, some things may be worth it. I realized the higher you get in arena, you want to maintain your defense so you can maintain your rank. The higher your rank, the more tokens you'll get at the end of the week. The reason we want these tokens at the end of the week is because whenever it refreshes, we are going to get this SSR promotion card, and it costs 150 tokens. But something I said that I was sleeping on before was this SR to SSR skill draw card, because it does cost 60 tokens. Getting all three of them actually costs more than the guaranteed SSR, but we'll be moving on to the cards here in a second, because I've learned a lot about these cards, and getting all three of these weekly is going to be a big one. On top of that, if you can actually get these promotion cards here too, that's going to be worth it as well, because for every card you promote, that takes it lowers the requirement for it to be promoted to the next grade. Like if you put promotions into an SR card, it takes less SR tokens to promote it to SSR, so it doesn't really matter. As long as if you disassemble the card as well, you get back the token that you put into it, and it doesn't end up actually being a loss. So that's news to me. Every card that you're going to get is actually going to be valuable. So even the rares, because I noticed whenever you level up the rares and up to 20, the experience you get for a level 20 rare, which is really fast to get, is actually more experience than an SR experience card. So leveling up those 3 spots, and you can probably do it in like 1 or 2 times 10s, is basically going to get you like 3 or 4 SR experience cards. And that is huge, because whenever a card reaches its max level, I actually saved one of these so that I could show you in real time. Whenever a card reaches its max level, you will actually get a token based on how the rarity of the card. So right here, I left this one at 19 so that whenever I power it up to 20, you could go ahead and take a gander on how I will get another token for that. So if you power up a card to 20 and get that token, and then you disassemble that card you powered up to 20, you will actually net 2 tokens per card instead of just the 1. Or if you decide to disassemble it, it will be you will get your investment back. So knowing that, any card that you are planning on disassembling, you should definitely level it up to 20 first. Any level 1 card is valuable to you because you need to level it up. As well as these SSR promotion cards from the shop, we will be using to increase our skills. So I saved my second token for this so that I could open the token shop and show you what I'm talking about. So whenever you go into the shop, we are going to take a look at, I think it was items, tokens. Still agree with this. I still think these SSR tokens are a pain in the butt to get. Definitely not worth spending 20 SR tokens for an SSR or 20 rare tokens for an SR, because you get more value out of disassembling them at max level or leveling up another card with them whenever they are max level. But we are still going for this premium draw times 10, this SSR promotion card. Do not do the gold. I changed my mind about the gold. Promoting and using the cards as experience is going to be a lot more valuable. Plus, you can actually get 200,000 gold with 2 times 10s, or maybe even 1 whenever you're at B11. So it's not really that big of a deal. These are the big ticket items that we want to get. We want to get the selective cards so that we can actually choose the mercenary we will be getting, and we want to get the promotion cards so that we can choose who we want to promote. Me personally, I am still working on... Whoa. No. I am working on Nadine's... Why? I don't understand. There she is. I'm working on Nadine's first skill getting promoted, so she is the one I am going to be selecting for sure. Because if I put this SSR card into her as a skill up, it has a chance to skill up that first skill. And let's take a look at her together too, because skilling up these skills is hard, especially getting the one you need to get. It can really be a pain. So I don't know if y'all are having trouble with that too. I definitely am. If you take a look at my Josephine, actually, the proof is right there in the numbers. She's at +4. I was actually able to get her shield up to +2, but that was the very last one that did it. Now that we're on Nadine, she's already had her 3rd skill promoted twice. She's already had her 2nd skill promoted, and I'm still just waiting on this first skill to get promoted so that I can so that I can obtain a defense break whenever I use her first skill, which is the entire reason I got her. Her other kit is like very useful, but oh my god. Okay, so now that this is +3, she does have the maximum effect she can get from that. She will decrease the enemy's attack bar by 500, which is pretty big. And now that it is +3, I don't have to worry about that getting promoted again. So between 4 cards, I had a 33% chance every single time to increase shopping axe. I didn't get it. Now that this 3rd skill cannot be promoted, it'll be a 50% chance whenever I start working on that again, which is going to take even more time. And I figured out, which this is probably common knowledge for everybody, but how to promote a rage skill is obviously to promote a rage skill card. If we go to power this up and we go to promote it, if you put in one of those promotion points, this will actually be increasing the skill of her rage skill. So it's not like I thought at first, where you have to max the first 3 skills first and then do the rage skill. You just have to promote the rage card to promote the rage skill. Something pretty important that I talked about in the beginning, I'm not sure if y'all have been keeping up with this or not, but these events, I made a video about the time limit on them. Basically, if you haven't started the bingo mission event already, you're out of time. You're not going to be able to finish it. So just try to get whatever prizes you can. If you only have like 1 or 2 cards left, we can absolutely get these last 2 cards finished. So whenever we complete this 3rd bingo board, we will be getting another SSR skill card draw ticket. We do not get to pick that one, but if it's somebody we do not like, we can still get the card to max level for a token and then disassemble it for another token, so that next rotation in the shop we can actually get a selective ticket to choose one we want, or a promotion. So if you didn't start the bingo yet, you're running out of time for that. As for the lucky dice, if you're just now starting, you really got to push and get lucky. So something I also didn't know, whenever you complete a lap, you do get another bonus dice. Whenever you land on this dice slot, whenever you complete a lap, you get 2 bonus dices. So if we started in the beginning, it's going to be a lot easier to complete this than I originally thought. And our lap reward, of course, our goal is lap 15, where we will get our skill card draw ticket, just like before, if we can promote it to 20 and then disassemble it. I actually got in SSR from these too, so getting to lap 9 is very beneficial as well. Now, a big question I get a lot of the time, should I build this tank? Should I build Nadine? Should I build Irina as a tanker? Should I build this tank? Should I build this tank? So if you don't have a tank and you're wondering which one to build, I'm going to go ahead and tell you to stop worrying about the tank for now because there is actually a new tank coming out with the next major patch. I'll go ahead and pull him up so that you can get a little bit of an idea on what he looks like and see who we're talking about. But they're bringing in a new tanker with the next patch. So if you do decide to build Darcia or Nadine or something just because you need a tank, maybe they don't actually fulfill the goal that you had for your team. And this guy we don't know anything about yet, so he could be a super tank. He could like bring an AoE defense breaker, an AoE stun, or an AoE speed break, whatever you might need for your team. This guy could have it. So I wouldn't worry too much about tanks right now until he's in the game so we can see what he does, and maybe he is the tank that you need. Speaking of speed break, like I just brought up, speed buff and speed decrease are huge. So with these games, whenever our main goal right now, okay? So for games like this, especially whenever they first come out, our main goal is going to be this virtual training, like any dungeon you can do that gets you the runes. Trying to get that. Sorry, this is not the right one. Trace specimens is what I'm thinking about. Where are you? Where are you, guy? Holy cow, where is it? There is it. I already passed it. So our goals in games like this is arena. We want to get as far in the arena as possible so that we can get as many gems per week as possible to progress as fast as possible. A good way of doing that is, of course, these trace specimens where the best runes come from and the best equipment. I say runes sometimes because of Summoner's War. I mean equipment when I say that. So for floor 11, I believe whenever you get to floor 10, it starts. Let me see. Nope. So floor 11, our end goal for PvE is going to be stage 11 of these, so that whenever we do obtain gear, our only RNG factor will be the substats and the rarity. Because right now, if you are not on floor 11, which I'm not, I'll try to push forward this week on that. I've been neglecting it to see how far I can get by next week. But whenever you're doing floor 11, you completely eliminate the RNG factor of getting a 4 or even a 3-star equipment, because I believe the first chance you're able to get 5-star equipment is on floor 7, but you also have a chance to get 3-star. So already you're looking at, you need to make sure you don't get a 3, you don't get a 4, then you need to make sure you don't get a premium or a rare. You want like a purple or a legendary. On top of that, you have to worry about getting the right set you're looking for. You have to worry about getting the right substats you're looking for. And the substats you're looking for need to be on the high end. So let me tell you what I mean about the high end. But first, let me just go ahead and end this. Our goal for PvE is going to be getting to this as fast as possible so we can get the best runes we need for our team, so that whenever we are fighting in the arena, we have the highest stats we need to take out the enemy and get that highest ranking, so that we can start getting a lot of gems. Especially for games like this, the arena tends to give out some pretty cool rewards. By the end of a season, they'll give you like exclusive skins. I think there's an iron skin for the end of this arena. They give you like borders, avatars, really cool stuff. And then of course, as the game progresses and they get more money and we try to help the company with like our reviews and give them advice, then they will implement more features for us to work towards for end game. But right now our end game is pretty much 2 or 3 goals depending on how you want to look at it. Our end game number 1 goal is going to be getting Trace Specimen floor 11. Number 2 goal is probably going to be getting all of the floors finished in the underground refinery, because the farther down in the refinery you get, the more of these refinery points you can obtain per day, plus the more of those you can maintain per day, you will end up getting these exclusive equipment pieces. Now, this makes me want to lead to, whenever I said last week in the shop, this exclusive equipment pack was a good investment, I'm not going back on that. It is a good investment. It has netted me a purple gear for every single one of my characters, but it has costed me about 3,000 diamonds to do so. Where in the underground refinery, maybe you don't get to choose the specific mercenary you want to craft for whenever you're crafting for their equipment, but it does just cost a different resource other than gems, so that you don't have to worry about being out of energy, because I've been running out of energy lately. Last week I talked about what I called a soft cap in gems, where I at one point just had like 10,000. Sorry, some fucking dickhead on his motorcycle thinks he's cool. He completely made me lose my track. But anyways, so yes, we want to be able to get our equipment with not the gems so that we don't run out of energy. That's where I was, because the soft cap on diamonds, I've actually been running out of energy, and I don't just have 10,000 diamonds to throw at energy every time I run out anymore. Now, with the equipment that we're getting from the trace specimens, something you want to look at is actually, which I never noticed until earlier because I was just bored playing around in the game. Where is it? Lucky Dice, Black Friday, Guide. Wait a minute, did it just switch to community the last second? I wish it didn't do that. It did. Don't do that, guy. I'll click the one I want to click on. You don't need to scroll for me. I can scroll for myself. So in the guide, it actually has lists of all of the buffs. So if you don't know what buffs you want, you can actually look here at a list of all of them and see which ones you might like. It has pretty much beginner tips for some of the questions I get, like, oh, what does this do? What does that do? What's the point of this? What's the point of that? This actually has a lot of that information. So that's something very nice the developers gave to us. They even have frequently asked questions, how to get free diamonds, you know, pretty much just everything that you need to know. But a very big one is this beneficial and weakening effects under number 6 for battle. So that way you can figure out which buffs you need for your team and which debuffs you want for the enemy. For my trace specimen enemy, I'm specializing in buffing my entire team speed so that I could get multiple turns, and then nerfing the trace specimen speed with Nadine so that the boss gets less turns. And I've actually been ending up taking like 10 turns before the boss even goes. And with the plant trace specimen, that lady, whatever her name is, I forget, whenever she does her charge, she actually needs to be hit like 5, 6, 7, 8 times depending on your level, in between her next move. So of course, if you only have like 3 or 4 turns to get off 8 hits, that's going to be a very difficult problem to deal with, versus if your entire team has a speed buff, now you're working with like 6 or 7 turns. And then if she has a speed debuff, I think my team has the speed buff, she has the speed debuff, now you're looking at like 10, 11 turns before she even gets a chance to come at you, which has made it a whole lot easier. So I'm definitely going to see how far I can push by next week so that I can show you guys how important that is. Now, the one I'm especially looking for underneath equipment properties, and power up. So whenever I say you need the correct substats for your whenever I was talking about the RNG, saying you need like the right set and the right subs on the high end, what I mean is actually displayed here in grids. They show you all of the stats for the stars, and if you scroll down, they show you all of the stats for an increase. So if you have, say, attack percent on a 5-star rune and it's at 4%, and you level it up again, it's at 8%, and you level it up again, it gets to 13, you've essentially leveled that thing up twice and only gained enough stats as if you had gotten a high roll to level it up once. Because if you started with 7 and you rolled a 7, you're already looking at 14 with 1 upgrade. That's more than before. So you want to make sure that you have these not really memorized, but you could definitely take a screenshot or write it down whenever you're powering up to see if the rune you're getting is actually good. Because for all you know, you could get the set you need. It could be legendary. It could have every substat you need, you know, like attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, and it's just like looks like the best rune in the world, but actually the value of it could be the same as, you know, a purple gear equivalent, or even a blue if your rolls were that low. So that's definitely something to look at and keep your mind on. Another way to increase your stats, because a problem with, of course, getting to these bosses is having the stats to actually defeat them. So other than getting your runes to plus 15 and stuff like that, I've noticed a little tip right here that I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about. So those experience potions you get and stuff whenever you're doing the daily missions, you can actually pick a level 1, go ahead and use your potions to level them up. And I'll tell you why I'm doing this. So he went from level 1 to level 31, okay, just by using those potions. Let's go ahead and get you. Go ahead and pop these in there. See how many levels I can give of that. Up to 22. Let's use these 2. I like to save the purple ones because I use them in crafting. But right off the bat, I think that was about 55 points into our mercenary upgrade. So whenever you get a level on any character, you get a mercenary upgrade point. So how I just got 30 on whatever Redhead Robin, I think his name is, and then I got 24 on whatever your name is, Bonnigan, I don't remember. terrible about it. Robert. I've gotten 54 points just by using the potions I get for doing the story if you've forgotten about your potions. And I've actually been able to get my mercenary power up level to 50 and increase my Amy's effectiveness and my Tala's effectiveness by a pretty large margin because, of course, with stats being integrated, if we saw the high end of an attack percent stat was 7%, then upgrading this by my stats now, I'm already looking at 3 major upgrades of attack percent in a substat, pushing 4 just for leveling up characters I'm not using yet. And on top of that, they also get defense and HP. Whenever you get them to level 50, you can increase their attack even more, their crit rate even more, and damage to tankers even more. So stuff like that is, sorry, if I'm using Tala, and she gives a 30% crit rate buff on my Amy. So say my Amy has 20% crit rate, and then my Tala gives her the buff, so she's at 50%. She's only critting 50% of the time. Then I can upgrade this to make her crit even more. Plus, whenever you upgrade her, I forget what these little stats are called. The stats that you upgrade with like the little tokens and stuff. She can be pushing like 80-90% crit rate without having any crit rate subs. Right here, I have her 15% crit rate just by bringing this up to triple S. So you can be pushing like all of your hard limit stats, like you want 100% crit rate, 100% pen rate. I could be pushing that crit rate without having a single crit rate sub. So I can focus the rest of my subs into attack percent or speed if I need her to go faster, crit damage, pen rate if I'm lacking pen rate. So being able to do that is a very nice thing that I didn't notice fast enough, or else I would have been able to have everybody a little bit farther than I already do. Other than that, y'all, that's like what I've been learning so far. I just figured I'd share my tips and tricks with y'all. Again, I'm probably going to do this once a week because we're all learning together. If you're learning something major and you want to drop it in the comments, I'll definitely read it. I highlight like pretty much everything. Like if I read it, I'll give you a heart. That's just the way it is. But that's it for me. I mean, if y'all have some tips that you'll go ahead and lay them down, I'm listening. But since I already played the outro in the intro, I'm not going to play it again. So I'll see y'all later. Bye.